Alright, let's meet up. Let's take these out carefully because they can break. These are the mirrors and the shocks. Well, the suspension. Let's see. I'm going to try to take this one out carefully because I don't know. Ah, okay. I thought it was more stuck. This is the gas tank, which is it's like a decoration it has for the back part. We'll put it on in a bit. This is the steering wheel. I think this is a good way to start, right? I don't know. Okay, so for this we're going to go to our box over here. I just have to adjust this a little. We're going to put it here. One second. I think it should be fine here. Let's open the box. Let's do another little unboxing. Let's see what's in the box right now, and let's open the other one too. That way we can activate the battery so it's ready. It usually takes about 5 minutes to be ready. So, oh shit. So, we're going to do it right now. From here, always at the top it has the title. That one I'm going to put this I always put somewhere else where it'll be safe. We have screws. I think these are for the suspension. Sometimes they come mixed up, so you have to try to look for them. They bring all the bags. What I do is I empty all the bags into a single container and, well, usually the ones that always come separately for safety are these. What are they called? The wheel ones. But actually, here are the screws we were looking for, and these usually come in another bag. What a coincidence. We're looking for these, which are Allen number 6, the black ones. That one too. So, but usually these come in another bag. These are the two main ones we need right now. Well, since I want to start with what's it called? With the steering wheel, with a wheel, but well. Alright, let's keep seeing what else is in here. We have the cap covers, well, the wheel covers, these little wheel caps, they're for the tires. They're covered by this little paper. They have tools. This is an air pressure gauge. It comes with reflectors. It comes with lots of accessories. I like it. I like it. This is a bag so you can put your tools or whatever you want to carry, and you just store it there. It comes with quite a lot of stuff. Right now we're going to find out what this belt is for, what this plastic thing here is for, and, well, that's it. This is like an emergency charger, because our battery might run down a bit, and then you just plug it in and everything's fine. I don't know how long you have to leave it charging, but it shouldn't be more than a day. It should be a bit quicker. Well, that's basically it. These are the screws for the accessories, for the back part. These go together with the box I told you about, which I'll show you in a bit. That one over there. I think since I'm here, I'll take the opportunity to activate the battery. I'm going to put it on here. It comes complete with the necessary bag of screws for the battery installation. We remove this one. This is the seal showing it's new, and here's the acid. For this, it's important to use plastic gloves. I'm going to get mine right now. Just a second. And well, now we have our protective gloves. I strongly recommend using them because we're working with a potentially corrosive acid, and it can be quite harmful, honestly. Hopefully, only responsible adults are watching this detailed tutorial, but in case that's not the situation, you really need to be extremely careful at this crucial step because the acid can severely burn your skin or cause some kind of serious injury, and we definitely don't want that to happen at all. This little tack, I don't really know what to call it, is a nest. I use it like this to open this up into and to carefully pierce the acid container. I think the camera might move a little bit, but that's perfectly okay for this particular process. I'm going to gently hit it like this, and I absolutely have to make sure that all of the acid completely stays inside the battery container. That's precisely what we use this for. And as for the acid level, I'm going to proceed a bit faster because it's constantly circulating. It's actively breathing. Sometimes I've observed that a significant number of people pierce all of them at the exact same time, and occasionally that's not such a particularly good idea because it goes down with far too much pressure. It can easily spill. And that certainly won't cause a fire. I don't really think so, right? But at the very least, it will definitely damage the surface where the acid ultimately lands, because at the end of the day, it is indeed acid. Usually, it always leaves some kind of noticeable mark or something similar. It's incredibly important to know that if at any point it happens to accidentally spill on your skin or something like that, you absolutely have to go wash it off immediately. I think plain water is generally enough, but if it gets a bit more painful or persistently irritating, then it's definitely best to see a medical doctor, right? Never ever take this situation lightly. But yeah, basically, you have to be a bit patient with this entire process and diligently keep a close eye on everything to make absolutely sure it's all good and proper. That way, we won't encounter any significant issues, even if it takes us a little bit longer than expected. Once all of the individual cells are completely filled with the acid, the very next crucial step is to patiently wait about 5 full minutes for it to fully activate, or rather, for it to thoroughly do its job, its internal combustion process, and then it's completely ready to install. I think that's pretty much it. Very, very good. I'm going to patiently wait for all of the acid to completely go down and then carefully seal it. After that, I'll leave it right here, and we'll continue with where we want to start with the other one, well, with the other part. Hopefully, they put this in slow motion, or perhaps fast motion. That would be quite good. I sincerely hope the audio doesn't get lost, because I feel like our microphones tend to run out of battery a bit too quickly sometimes, and it takes them a little while to recharge. Looks like it's ready now. When removing the acid container, you have to be careful because sometimes there can be leftover acid, and we don't want anything to splash. One time, a bit of acid got in one of my eyes and it hurt a lot. It's important to put this on carefully because it's plastic and we could damage it, so you have to be precise. Okay, this. Well, I think you can just press it down with anything, really, right? You just need to push it all the way down like that. And that's it. And that's it. Now we have our battery. You're going to feel it a little warm or a bit hot for a second, but that's no big deal. That just means it's reacting. Okay, so I'm going to take this off, and let's move on to the next step. We're going to the steering wheel, which I'll show you here. You need to move it down a bit. There are 2 holes here, and that's where our screws will go. Our steering wheel has a flat side, which lines up with the other flat part there. So let's put it on, and I think you can see it. I don't know if I already mentioned the screw size, but in case I didn't, let's go over it again. These screws here are 6 millimeters for the Allen key. It goes like this. You can see it here, 6 millimeters, so they don't get too dirty. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm a mechanic. That's normal. Ah. Hey there. Now let's carefully tighten it a little bit before giving it its full and complete torque, just so we can precisely put the other one in place and make absolutely sure it doesn't accidentally fall off. Let's meticulously put this other one in like this. This particular power piece is essentially the main plastic component. It's also quite flexible, but you really have to be extremely careful not to inadvertently break it. Now, for the final and definitive torque. Okay, this is completely ready now. It's just that it typically comes packaged like this, which is kind of unusual and a bit weird. I'm going to pause for a brief moment. I'm going to carefully adjust this. I'll leave it a little bit higher. Well, I'll leave the entire tripod assembly a bit higher than it currently is. And I'm going to thoroughly mix all the various screws together. I'll put them all right here, and it honestly doesn't look too bad at all. I'll put them all here. I'll make some ample space to conveniently leave all the screws. It truly doesn't matter if they get mixed up. The crucial point is to accurately find the correct and appropriate holes for each screw, because, well, I think I already briefly mentioned it, sometimes they come packaged like this, not all neatly organized in a particular individual bag. They often get mixed up within these various little bags. We also have our, what's it precisely called, our destructive tool. I completely forgot its specific name, since I personally don't use it very often. I don't use it, not because it's not absolutely necessary. These things are really necessary, but I've already done a lot of these, so I know them by heart. And that's also why you're watching this video, because screw the damn instructions. Screw the damn instructions. No, 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 we shouldn't use bad words. Because screw the instructions. So it's just easier to go step by step. Watching a boring video and reading the instructions, trying to make sense of the images that sometimes aren't very clear. But that's why I'm here, to help you with this. We're all here to help you with this. I'm not going to throw these away. I'm going to keep them there to send them in the same box, the client's box, the casta box. We have a bunch of boxes of screws over there, so let's find the next ones. Alright, let's get started. Well, not really get started, since we already began with the steering wheel, with the style, and now we're going to move on to the windshield. We're going to put this thing on with these two screws. They're 10 millimeters and they go in from underneath. I'm going to readjust the camera in a bit, but this windshield goes on like this, in this position. Remember, this part faces forward because it's the bracket for the mirrors, I think. You should be able to see it, though maybe I can remove this. I'll just leave it there so I can adjust the camera again and get a better look at how we can put in the screw. We need to make sure, because it's important, that this moves and stays in the correct position. Since underneath there's a hole, I don't know if we can see it, but it's going to be hard for the camera to catch it from this angle. I don't know if it's visible. Let's set it to 0.5. Not sure if you can see it well from there, but maybe you can make out the bracket a bit. Well, not the bracket, but the hole for the screw to go through. So we need to make sure that this other hole on top is also lined up correctly, that it's in the right spot. Okay, now I'm sure it is, so I'm going to put it in. Whenever you're assembling any of these vehicles, if you don't have much experience, it's a good idea to do it with a buddy. Because, well, just in case you don't have experience, right? I've been doing these for quite a while, but even so, it still takes me a bit of time. It looks like it is now completely ready, so I am just going to carefully use my trusty wrench and the appropriate ratchet to securely tighten it, but I will go over it a little bit more thoroughly. Okay. I'm going to try to tighten the screw a bit with this. This is a 10 millimeter, but it has the wrench here. So I'm just going to make sure to tighten it a little. I'm not going to tighten it all the way, just enough so it doesn't come out of position. I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing on the other side. A little more, just like that. Okay. I think before moving to the other side, I'm going to go ahead and put on the other bracket that's needed. There. That's it. Sometimes they already come like this, with the same mirror. Well, you just have to put it on like this. Let's see. I'm going to adjust the camera a bit. We need to make sure that this hole here is aligned with this other one over here. It's simple. We just move this one a little bit and put this one in from the back, and that's it. Ah, okay. I think before putting in the screws that go in this part here, it's important to see the difference between the screws we're going to use, the screws we're using. Let's adjust the camera. Okay, so we have these screws that are a bit bigger, thicker than the others. These. I think this one is 14 millimeters or 13 millimeters. I'm not sure. But the ones we're looking for, I think, are these. These are they're medium-sized. I think we have 3 sizes of these. Yeah, these 3 are the same. I think we're going to use these middle ones, or am I wrong? I think those will work. I think these are perfect. We're going to use a washer and, well, a washer and our lock nut. Oh, a quick note is that these almost always come with leftovers. What I mean is that the same company that makes these vehicles always sends an extra screw just in case you have any issue or problem in the future, so you can replace it really easily. Okay, for now, let's go ahead and put this one in to secure it there. What I almost always do when I'm about to assemble them is try not to tighten everything all the way until the end, because sometimes it might not be properly aligned somewhere and we need a bit of flexibility to be able to assemble everything. Okay, so we're going to leave this one like this, just like that. We're going to put this one here and the other one here, and the nut on this side. This one seems to be a 13mm or a 1/2" wrench. Both are the same. Yeah, it's 13mm. That nut there, and the other one is a 10. What I do so they don't slip out of position a bit is also, we use this 10mm one, is I tighten them a little, but I don't tighten them all the way. I think that one got tightened too much. Like this, it's still kind of loose, flexible. On the bottom part, this one has a threading, a new a thread. I'm going to use, for example, the other mirror we have. And also, well, these use a slightly bigger nut. I think it's a 14mm. It's this one right here. Yeah, I wasn't wrong. It's a 14mm. We put this one on the bottom part. And this is a 14mm. Right? There we go. Okay, let's put that same nut down there. On the bottom part. I'm going to readjust the camera a little bit. Let's see if it's visible. I'm not sure if it's very visible, but more or less in this area, the bolt and the nut go through. Okay. In the same way, we just tighten this one a little as well. We still don't want to tighten it all the way. It should stay flexible, because we still have the other side to assemble. And, well, it needs to be as flexible as possible. I think that's good there. So now let's get started. Okay, now we're going to do exactly the same thing on this other side. I think I'm going to cut the video and do it, and I'll speed it up, and then we'll continue with the other side. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to lift it up here, and in a moment it'll suddenly appear all assembled. Oh, wait, no. I'm going to leave it at a better angle. There. Alright, now we're going to tighten all the screws, every single one, really quickly. Tighten them up. I'm going to put this one here. I think I'll leave it on this side. Hopefully, they'll put this part in fast motion. 10mm, 13mm. We need to make sure our members are secure, that they're well aligned, so there aren't any gaps. I'm going to leave the other one exactly the same. I've already tightened these two at the bottom, so now I'm just going to check if I need to tighten the one on top or not. I already lost my socket and I was just using it. What the fuck? Seriously? I found it. This one is 14 millimeters. We already knew that for this spot. Let's see, they're aligned, and now it really feels solid. It doesn't move at all anymore. I wouldn't take this to the dunes, though now I think it's time to open the box. The box is the pandemic. Box? Okay. Since our viewers aren't dumb, we're not going to give a bunch of instructions on how to open a box. It's just the one individual who will expertly open it for us, because, truly, we have already provided far more detailed instructions on the precise method of opening a simple box than we have accumulated throughout our entire lives combined. So, with great anticipation, let us now proceed to carefully open it. Inside, we discover a substantial and robust tire. A spare, or did it move to put it on? Here we have a spare tire, and what else do we have? There's the bracket. Well, there's the rack on the back. It's just that this box isn't helping me. But anyway, we won't really need it much. This is the bracket. For the gas tank, the fake tank, remember, don't put gas in that one. It doesn't work. Is it this other one here? Okay. Let's take off the bubble wrap and get it out of here right now. I really like taking everything off. You're going to take out all the new parts. It feels genuinely good, providing a sense of satisfaction and correctness. It is more or less going to precisely go into that intended and designated position, which is exactly where it needs to be placed and carefully put there for optimal alignment and function. But I think that instead of putting it all together, I can just put it like this, in one piece like this. Looking at this, I'm going to break it. I'm going to untie it. I'm going to take off the safety belts to make it easier, because it can be a bit of a hassle to try to put everything together like that. Because this is a bit flexible, since basically this goes like this, and this one. It goes on top. It goes like this. So when you try to put everything together, it might be a bit tricky to fit it. So let's take it off. This is better, and I'm going to put on the first part. I think I'll start with this one here, and then we'll go back to putting everything back to normal. This one has, I think it's a 14 millimeter to be able to remove it. This yellow canister here. And if the nut is exceptionally tight and resistant to turning, not this particular one located here in the foreground, but rather the one positioned securely on the back of the assembly, which often presents a greater challenge, you can then proceed to carefully use a specialized tool designed for such stubborn fasteners, applying steady and controlled pressure to loosen it effectively. I think it's a 17 millimeter. The 17 millimeter wrench. And that's one of these, either a 17 or one of these. It doesn't really matter. You have to be careful not to damage any of our bolts, because I don't think we have any spares. Also important, don't lose them. For these other two elements, I am going to proceed with the identical methodical approach and process that was previously applied, ensuring a consistent and precise execution. As a direct result of this careful application, what was initially a single entity has now been distinctly transformed, effectively evolving into two separate, yet intrinsically connected, constituent parts. We put this one here. I'm going to move the camera now so you can see how it goes. I think it should be fine. I think I'm going to take out the instructions and put them in the box. Oh, let's see. First, I think I'm also going to show you this. Here it has some other perforations. That perforation there, which matches up with this one over here. So it basically has to be like this. So, and this has to be, it is incredibly important that this particular component goes through the back. Brake time equals 0.5s / because that is the primary support structure for the rack that will be positioned above it. And it is precisely the same situation on this other side. For that, we are going to meticulously knead this specific piece. Remember it well. Brake time equals 0.5s / because it seems to me that these two are also, indeed, these two screws and the accompanying pressure fences. These particular doors are not at all the same as the other, more normal ones, since they possess the distinctive wing on the blue part that you can clearly see. And it is, in fact, a very important piece, a VERP, and that is a crucial piece of plastic so that they become secure, self-locking security nuts. And this, on the other hand, is a completely normal nut. Okay, well, it has absolutely nothing complicated about it. It is much simpler to manage. Okay, I am going to carefully adjust this a little bit again. Brake time equals 0.5s / and I think that it is perfectly fine. It seems to me that if it is okay or not, we are going to observe it a little more closely to properly put this in place. I think it should be perfectly fine. Well, I am going to carefully put my screw here. If you, by any chance, want to put a longer one, it is perfectly fine. There is absolutely no problem as long as it is not excessively long and the nut reaches precisely to where it has to go. This other nut is meticulously put on the bottom part. This here, is the exact same measurement, 13 millimeters, but you don't have to be overly careful. You just have to exercise a little bit of patience, because there are times that we can see more or less how to properly put it. The same applies if it is with two people, because it is significantly easier to work in such a scenario. Here, I already found it. I'm not going to put it in right now. I completely forgot my yoga mat. Okay, ready? Okay, hopefully, the microphone is still actively on, because if not, this is going to be quite bad, and I think the voice will not be heard as much as it should be. Well, on the other side, we will perform the exact same procedure. We do not move anything unnecessarily. We carefully put our screw in again. Maybe right now It is not as visibly clear as how I am currently putting it, but in just a moment I will show you more or less how it has to be at the end of the day. So that is the crucial point. I think I definitely need the extension and the 10 millimeters just to gently push it down a little bit. Ready. And so, the exact same step is repeated once again. We have to position ourselves on the bottom side and meticulously look for the screw and then carefully put the nut on it. Now, I will show you exactly how it looks. Okay, I already found this. Adjust this a little bit like this. And so, it looks like this. There, we have our screw number 2. And here is number 1. Okay, and on the bottom, we have to see if it can be clearly seen. It is this one right here. And now, only what we are going to do now is to carefully torque it. But this is precisely the same as the front part. We have to wait a little while, a short period of time, until it has a little bit of flexibility, so we can properly put that other one over there. So, I think I'm going to leave it here for now, and I'm going to put the other one in. The primary reason why this particular part here goes in this specific direction is because it sits directly on this. This is exactly the base that we need, more or less. You have to be very careful. We definitely do not want to scratch our car in this delicate situation. I personally use a screw or, in some cases, some screws that are a little bit longer. These are the biggest ones available. I don't know if you remember that we have 3 distinct types of screws. They also go with their corresponding washer, with their specific washer. So now, we carefully put the screw in. We also use this very same nut, 13 millimeters. And that's it. The same applies on the other side. We have to make absolutely sure that before putting the nut on, they stay securely inside, because if not, then we would have to remove everything again, and well, it's quite lazy to have to do it all over again. So here, we leave it like that. We put our guaje to be able to hear everything, and that's it. And now, we put it from here below, and it's still quite flexible. It doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. Now, we're going to proceed to the front part, because here we also have some additional screws that we need to carefully see. So, I'm going to create a little bit of space. I'm not entirely sure if there are any medium-sized screws left at this precise point in time. I think so. There should be at least a couple left. Or am I wrong? I don't know. And there should be a couple of medium screws left. The ones we just put over there are long. These are medium. They're a bit smaller, but not by much. The difference is minimal. So I'm going to put 2 of these in. Well, one on each side. This one will go on this side here, and the other goes on the other side, but we'll put the one in a bit. Since we're here, I'll also take the opportunity to go ahead and install the seatbelt, so we don't have to keep coming back to it. Okay, I already checked more or less how that goes, and I don't understand how I managed to forget. But anyway, it's simple. This goes like this. The precise dimensions of the components are crucial for their proper function and integration. We are dealing with a measurement of 13 millimeters for one specific part, which is a critical dimension that dictates its fit and interaction with other elements. Additionally, another component measures 10 millimeters, a distinct but equally important specification that contributes to the overall assembly. These precise numerical values, 13 millimeters and 10 millimeters, are not arbitrary. They are meticulously determined to ensure accuracy and performance. Furthermore, there are other various dimensions and specifications indicated by blah, 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 which collectively contribute to the intricate design and functionality of the entire system. Each measurement, whether it's 13 millimeters, 10 millimeters, or any of the other unspecified dimensions, plays a vital role in the successful operation and construction of the product. The meticulous attention to these minute details, down to the exact millimeter, is what guarantees the quality and reliability of the final output. Therefore, understanding and adhering to these specific measurements, such as the 13 millimeters and the 10 millimeters, along with all the other relevant dimensions, is paramount for achieving the desired outcome and ensuring the integrity of the design. So we said we were going to start with the ones on top, right? I mean, with the ones in front of us, we're going to use our 10 millimeters in this one because, well, the gun doesn't fit here. The impact here isn't that easy. That one had already been tightened a bit. They'd already tightened it a little, so I just gave it a bit more torque. Now we're going to see how to tighten these down here. But yeah, let's see how to tighten them. For now, we just tightened this one really quickly. We left this nice and solid. Remember that when you want to torque something, once it feels a bit tight, just to make sure it's secure, we look for our 12, our flat spot, and it's just a little less than 45 degrees there. That's it. Not long ago, we had a pretty funny incident with a bolt, but that's more or less how you torque it. Alright, now we're going to tighten the ones we put in at the beginning. Let's see. I hope this angle is good, otherwise I'm going to cry. Ah, but now I can't hold it. Well, but you know which one I'm talking about. Let me see. I'm going to look for something to put it on. I need to see if this way it can stay like that. Oh yeah. Let's see. There. Okay. What I always do in these situations is use my 10 millimeters You know, 10 and 13, 10 and 13. This 10 here, I use this long extension because it's easier. And on the bottom we use the number 13. Let's move a little bit here, and I tighten it. Okay. And it's the same process for everything on the other side too. Oops. We've got this one here now. Let's find it. Nice. I think it's pretty solid now. Yeah, that's exactly it. Brake time equals 0.5s/. Basically, this is how it should look before lifting it up. It looks good. This is pretty nice. It's got a really retro style. Our battery has been sitting there abandoned for like 500 hours, so we're going to help it out now. I think we're going to take advantage, before putting the wheel that goes there, to put in the battery, because, well, we have more space to work. This hood it's nice. I like it. I like opening it up and finding the engine and everything right there. In our super powerful 125 cubic centimeter engine, the battery goes on that base you can see in the back. It's a square. It's right here in the middle. That's the one that goes all the way at the bottom. I don't know if it's more visible from one side, but you can kind of see the fuse there. It's in that area. Right now, it'll be easier for you to see it than for me to explain it here. So, I'm going to put it here and leave it. And I'm going to adjust it a bit. There! Right there. Just like that. That's it. Okay. Alright, hopefully, the microphone hasn't turned off. We are going to carefully put this battery in from the bottom, just like this. That's precisely how it should go. It's really quite easy. Super easy, in fact. Brake time equals 0.5s/. I think this is going to be a bit of a tough angle to capture on camera, but we'll definitely manage. We can absolutely do it. Let's see if we can successfully pull it off. I'm going to place it up here. It doesn't really matter exactly where, as long as it's clearly visible for everyone to see. Brake time equals 0.5s/. Let's try to zoom in a bit more. I think you can kind of see it there, perhaps a little more clearly now. We really need to pay close attention right now, because it's showing us right there. That specific cross symbol here is the clear sign that the positive terminal goes here. This is exactly where the red wire needs to be connected. Brake time equals 0.5s/. Now I need to find the necessary screws. I'm not entirely sure where they are at the moment. Oh, here are the 3 of them, perfectly located. We have our square nut right here. Our nut, not internet, just to clarify. Brake time equals 0.5s/. Now we meticulously look for the red wire. And yes, we have located the red wire. Although this might be a bit, not necessarily complicated, it just takes a little more time and patience to complete. But that's precisely how it is with these types of tasks. Brake time equals 0.5s/. If we put it like this, let's carefully put this one in place. Usually, I personally like to put it about like this. I have to gently pull this red plastic covering a bit, and then we carefully put it in. Now, where is my Phillips screwdriver? Ah, yes, my trusty Phillips screwdriver. Oh no, the camera moved. I don't know if it's still. Well, the angle is hard to see there, so it doesn't matter. Basically, everything is fine. And on the other side, we carefully guide and connect the black cable. This is a crucial step to ensure proper electrical flow and connection within the system. Remember that very important strap I showed you right at the beginning of this whole process? This is precisely the one we are going to use here, right now, to make absolutely sure that the battery remains perfectly secure and stable, preventing it from moving around too much, which could potentially lead to damage or dislodgement during operation. It's all about securing everything in place for optimal performance and longevity. Now, let's proceed to put on our square nut. This part can be a little bit tricky, or perhaps fiddly is a better word, not necessarily difficult in a complex sense, but it certainly takes a bit of patience and time to get it just right. It definitely has its own specific process that needs to be followed meticulously, but rest assured, everything will be fine and come together perfectly in the end. And that's it. Once it's in place, the job is done. They fit really well, settling into a good, secure position, which is great news. Everything looks fantastic, and everything should be perfectly fine and functional. Now, I just need to locate that specific strap again and carefully put it on to finalize this section. Yes, that's the strap we need, right here. On the bottom, it has two hooks. Right now, I'll see if I can show them to you. We have to do this carefully to make sure we don't damage any cables, because otherwise we might have some problems. This one is a bit elastic, so we can pass it underneath the battery holder. Well, it has a sort of space, a certain tolerance to pass it through the middle, and we stretch it, and underneath there's another tab to attach it. Let me adjust the angle of this thing, and hopefully it'll be visible there. Here you can more or less see how the strap goes. Let's see, over here, there it is. And that's how you secure the battery. Now, I think instead of raising the Jeep just yet, we're going to put on the back part. Let's install the brackets that go here for the wheels and for the gas tank, that one there, and a bit more, and our spare tire, because this one comes well equipped.
1 second. 000. This is a quick video to show how to fix a small problem. It's rare for these things to happen. Usually they come out perfect, but since this one came with a minor defect, which actually doesn't affect anything at all, we thought we'd take the opportunity to show the solution. But here's the solution. It's really simple. Here we have our drill holes for attaching the accessory that holds the gas tank, but the holes aren't lined up. The holes, if we look here, this part hits and we can't get it through. So what's happening is that this one is a little out of line. So this is quick, it's simple, there's really no problem. We just need to make sure right here. I have made a few distinct marks. roughly indicating precisely where the trigger point will be positioned. So all I am going to do is, perhaps this might end up looking a little bit crooked or slightly off center, but what's it called? The mounting bracket will completely cover it. So there is absolutely no issue or problem with that at all. I think this one. Which one is it? This is the one for the gas tank. So here it's not visible. It's completely covered. There. So you do exactly the same thing on both sides. There it is. And this other one, well, it's exactly the same. Here we have these two. Now, all we do is, well, we don't really drill them. It's more like wearing them down. And that's basically all we need to do. Now our screw will go in all the way, flush, and we won't have any more problems. Making this a little wider doesn't really affect us at all, since this part covers it anyway, so it's all good. Okay, I hope this helps you. And in case your mini Jeep comes with some kind of defect, well, this is the solution. Although it's rare, it's not very common to see this happen. Alright, bye.
Alright, so let's go ahead and put this bracket on here. We had said that this one was for the gas tank. We need to pay attention and look closely at these screws, because here it uses some that are a bit different. These are the only Allen key number 6 screws that are a bit longer and have a somewhat flatter head. So I need to find my 6mm. Here's my 6mm Allen. We had already used it before for the steering wheel. And now we're going to use it again for this one. I think you don't need too many tools for this one. Equal. Yes, no, believe me, there aren't too many. Let's see, this is exactly the same as the other one. You really have to carefully look for precisely where the screw is located on the back. Brake time equals 0.5s/. In just a moment, I'll also show you more or less what the entire back part actually looks like, and precisely how the nuts and all the other internal components should appear inside. Here's one. Here's the other one. Oh no, it has unfortunately fallen down. It is now done. It is truly done. And now, coming in at number 13. Number 13 is the same nut we already used before, the same wrench, all 13ths. Done. On the other side too. There, that's good. Now we're going to put on the gas tank. Alright. This goes like this. We close the strap, lock the latch.
You have to pull this a bit. Done. And on the other side, you do it too. The process is similar. It's pretty much the same. Where's the other one? I already lost it. Here it is. For this side, I use some regular screws, also 10 millimeters. These are the small ones, you could say. And, well, the 13 millimeters, these ones here. 13 millimeters. A lot of 13 millimeters. These also go on the back side. Like this. I think the nuts that go here are also 17 millimeters. We'll find out right now. Yeah, they have to be 17 because they're the same ones used on the wheels. Okay. Where did I leave the 13? 13 and the 10. Here it is. And here's the 10. The number 10, the number 13. It's important to hold the nut on the other side of this with our wrench, because otherwise it'll just keep spinning forever and never tighten. I'm going to get a rim. I like this one to put it here. This one and the one that comes in the box, or the ones that come separately, it's the same thing. We send them that way because it's a bit more compact, the way all the parts of this mini Jeep are organized. So, to avoid any damage, we decided to send them separately. For this we need these nuts, but I need to find the other one. This is a 17 millimeter. Yeah, here it is. Let's put this one on. But I'm struggling. Huh? Well, that's really quite good right there, wouldn't you agree? And that's also exceptionally good as well, don't you think? It's truly impressive. And here is the number 17. 17. And now we're going to lend it. What size is the front axle on the X20? On the X20, do you know which one will be front and rear? I think the thinner one is going to be on the front. Thin is the front. That's what I thought, because the rear, it has to support a little more weight. Wait. Yeah, so I think it's this one. Monster. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Blooper. See. Basically, this is how the whole Jeep looks. This is the final shape it has, and fuck, it's beautiful. It's handsome. All right, we have to lower the hood, our V8 engine. We're going to hide it a bit. We don't want the cops to know we have a supercharger and, well, everything else that's needed. Oh, I took it off. Well, I'll fix it right now. Done. And done. That's how it looks. It's beautiful. Very, 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 very. I'm going to take a break and to figure out how I'm going to lift it. I don't know whether to start with the front or the back. I'll think about it right now. I'm going to leave it here.
Gone just like magic. These usually come with a bar and 2 number 10 screws, plus an extra number 12 nut. But I've already taken it off. Well, I had already removed the screw, so I think I'll start with the back part. I'm going to put the jack in down there. Let's put on the suspension, and then I think after that, the wheels. We'll also check what pressure it needs to be filled to. And well, I think those are the final steps. In the front, it has the control arms and the whole steering system. But we'll look at that later. Alright, just a moment, please, as I prepare to carefully and deliberately move this particular item. I need to ensure it is positioned precisely where it needs to be, taking all necessary precautions to avoid any potential issues or disruptions during the process. Let's lift this up. Once. Actually, I think I'll lift it a bit more until it gets to the right spot. I'm not sure if it's visible, but that's where the hole for the suspension is. So what I want to do is lift the frame, lift the chassis until it lines up there. It's not strictly necessary to use a jack like this, but I use it because sometimes we also work with ATVs, and well, it's the one we have here for now. But you can use whichever one you want. Now, I don't know if you remember that we had different types of bolts. Someone is yelling, so we have this type of bolt. These are the biggest ones, they're the last ones, so these are the ones we use for the suspension. This one, and I think it uses a size 15 nut. This socket, this bolt is 13 millimeters, and the nut is, what size is it? 14. I made a slight mistake. What I actually meant to convey is that this particular one is a 13 millimeter, and this other one is a 14 millimeter. We are now meticulously inspecting each and every nut, ensuring it is securely fastened, and then moving on to the bolts, confirming their tightness as well. This thorough check is absolutely crucial for safety and stability. Once every component has been verified and double-checked, we can confidently declare that everything is perfectly in order and completely all set. Are you prepared to proceed with the next step, or are you ready to begin? Here it also has these other bolts, but we'll take those off in a bit. First, we need to do the others. The bolts I'm talking about are these right here. We also have to carefully and thoroughly remove them, but we'll take those components off with precision. After that, it is absolutely crucial that we meticulously set the suspension properly and securely in place first, ensuring it is completely stable and doesn't move or shift unexpectedly. And here, the process is exactly the same, following the identical steps and procedures as before to achieve consistent results. So the rear suspension is ready now. Now, let's carefully proceed to remove all of the bolts. These additional items that we currently possess here, they are truly in a state of disarray, a complete and utter mess. Juanito, my dear Juanito, this situation is quite overwhelming and requires immediate attention to sort through the chaos that has accumulated. It's a significant jumble of things, creating a considerable challenge to organize and understand what exactly we have on hand. The sheer volume and disorganization are quite astonishing, making it difficult to even begin to address the problem effectively. Juanito, you really need to see this for yourself and help rectify this perplexing predicament. You gotta be famous. He turns into a celebrity. Okie dokie. In the front part, there were some too, and we've already taken them out. So, which one is next? What's the next step? Okay, this one. I think I'm going to lower it, but I'll leave a jack stand there. Or maybe I'll lift it first. I think I'll raise it a bit more. And then I'll put a jack stand under it. And then I'll lift the whole chassis from the back. Okay, that's going to be the plan. Let's see.
Oh dear. Oh my no.
I think that's good there. It should be fine there. But I'm not going to lift it. Okay, I need to come up with a new plan. Let's use this one. Alright, so here we are, and my intention now is to carefully and precisely lower this particular item. Let's take a moment to observe the current position and then proceed with the adjustment. I'm going to gently and gradually bring it down, ensuring that the movement is controlled and smooth. We need to find the optimal level, so I'll be making small, incremental adjustments until it reaches the desired height. This process requires a bit of patience and attention to detail to achieve the perfect placement. Let's see, let's lower it just a little bit more, making sure it's exactly where it needs to be for the best possible outcome. It's not exactly necessary for you to do it the same way I do. If you have another way to do it, that's fine, it's correct. But since I have this jack, this is how I do it. As long as the only purpose is to lift everything together, or rather, to have enough space to put the wheels in there. And so, doing it that way, I think I'm going to have to do them one by one. I'm going to start with that tire, then I'll lower it and lift the other one. Spot SD. And then I'll put the next tire on the next wheel. I almost always like to lift it from that base right there, but that takes a bit more effort. And in this video, the goal is to do it with as little effort as possible because we don't want to hurt ourselves. So I'm going to leave this here and go get the hose because we need to inflate those, and I'll tell you in a moment. More or less. I think what they need is 20 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. But right now I'm going to check properly. And that's it, because we don't want to inflate the others either. Okay. Let's inflate this one. I have this one. I think the maximum capacity of these is when it's 22 pounds. Let's put 20. Likewise, they are not as inflated or perhaps less so. I'm going to leave it at, 18 so I don't force the tire or anything like that. 18. I'm going to inflate them all at once, but I'm going to cut the video. Okay, so all the tires are ready now. Let's put one on. Let's start with the first one. I think with this one I won't be able to do, like, cuts. I'm going to have to do them one by one, but that's fine. Oh, yeah. Let's see right now. Okay. Like this. Those rims are nice. They're good looking. Okay. Let's look for the lug nuts. I've got the bag with the nuts here. Okay, here's our bag with nuts, with bolts, with whatever you want to call them. And let's put them on. These are size 17. There. I think. I think they have other names, but they're used on cars. I think they're called burlos, right? Burlos? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's right. Now we put on the lug nuts. Okay. I almost always tighten them in an X pattern so the rims sit evenly. These don't need that much pressure either because, well, it's a small car. It's not like a real one. In the middle of the tire it uses a cap. It's a chrome cover. I almost always put it on using this bonnet hammer because it's easier. It's simpler than tightening it by hand or hitting it with something else. So what I do is, carefully, I make sure these tabs are well aligned here, and I just tap it a little. Like this. And that's it. Simple. All our tires are inflated. Now we're going to move to the other side. This is basically going to be the same process, the same procedure, but we're going to try to grab it from over here. Indeed. Brake time equals 0.5s/. M&M, I'm going to meticulously and precisely adjust it, ensuring that every single detail is perfectly aligned and optimized for the absolute best possible outcome, taking into account all relevant factors and considerations. I had to adjust it a different way. Well, not a different way, but kind of at a different angle. So now I can move it away and put the wheel on the other side. Okay. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention. The wheels have a direction. The direction of the wheels is where like this arrow, which means both of them should point forward. Which means this one is backwards. This one should go on the other side, like this. So I'm going to go, oh no, the broke. Ha ha ha. I'll see if I can fix it. I'm going to.
Yeah, I think it's done for.
Oh, yesterday I think I left off at this part one was telling you about. It's just that there were some problems with the triple and it broke, but not anymore. They already fixed it. Basically, the next step after putting on the wheel is to lift it from the front. And to finish up, this is the last step we have to do. Put on the shocks, the suspensions. And this already comes, well, previously aligned and everything, so everything's good. So, you just have to install the wheels, the shock, and also the control arm, but everything's fine already. You have to pay close attention to the tension where we can put it. There might just be a bit of cable underneath there, and I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think on this side it doesn't have it, but on the other side it does. So maybe that's where we're having trouble. Alright, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave this one here. I'll leave number 3 here and so I can finish this side. Because I think the lighting is a bit better here, so I'll leave it here. You're going to do everything now. I'll explain in. Well, let's see what's next. I'm not sure how well the audio came through just now, but we're having issues with our microphones. But we're going to get some new ones, better quality ones, so it'll be better. Okay, so for this we're going to, here we have, this is I think this bolt is 13 millimeters, and this nut is 14 millimeters. Here we have our shock, our suspension, and we're going to put it right here. This is really simple. It's very easy to do. We put in the bolt, secure it here, and remember that you should tighten it at the end. Well, actually, you don't have to tighten it at the very end, right? But we can. Leave it a little loose, not fully tightened, so it's easier to maneuver. The one on the bottom is exactly the same. Let's put that one in too. Let's lower what's it called? The control arm. Well, this whole set here, we're going to lower it a bit, and it also needs to be aligned over here. You can see it there, I think. Let's see. There. Let's see. If you're having trouble getting it in, if it doesn't want to go in easily, you can also use the jack and it won't be that hard to put in. Just make sure to do it carefully. Here we have our number 14. This one is the 14 and this one is 13. And that's what we need for these. I think that, well, in the next step you'll need a different size wrench, but we'll see in a moment. For now, let's go ahead and tighten this one. And now the top one is next. Now you shouldn't have much movement anymore. On this side, here's the control arm, Yeah. Basically, everything that connects to the steering wheel, to the wheel itself. I think this one is a 17. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but hopefully it is a 17. Ah, where's my 17? It is a 17. This one, we can use it here. Let's use this socket. It still makes me laugh at yesterday. Yesterday I was recording and the triple broke. The same wheel from this mini Jeep ran over it and broke it. A run over. Oh, no. Ah, done. Okay, and now we put this here. I don't know if that's a good angle. I'm going to move it a bit. Like this. And a bit of sun and like that. That's weird. Remember that you always have to put this on with a lock washer. It already comes with its own lock washer, but if it doesn't, in case it doesn't have one, make sure to put one on. I don't think anything bad will happen if it doesn't have one, but it's better to be safe. HM. Let's see. I need to find the hole for the pin. Okay. Now let's put this pin in here. Wow, what ugly hands. We're going to put it in the hole that's right there. And now we're just going to bend it. Okay, done. Now we just have to find our wheels. Let's see where we left them. Here it is. This is the one for this side. And we're going to put it over there. Let's check the angle. Just hopefully it doesn't fall again and break all of this all over again. Oh, no. I think I need to raise the jack a bit more. But I'm going to put this on so it doesn't come off. Wouldn't want another accident to happen and have to fix the tripod again. We're going to end up as motorcycle and tripod mechanics. I think I'll have to raise the other side too, but, well, for now that's not important. So, let's tighten the nuts, the bolts here, and we're getting closer and closer to having it all done. Sometimes I actually start the other way around, like, I start with the front part. Well, I start with the front part. And not the front part, I mean the bottom part. And, well, I do the whole process kind of like this, kind of backwards. I make sure that all four wheels are good, everything at the beginning like that. And then I move on to the upper parts, like the windshield, the mirrors, everything we saw at the start. So, well, there are several ways to do it. Some people prefer to do it their own way. For me, it feels like this way is a bit more organized or, well, whatever. For me, this works fine. So, I'm going to make a quick cut here. But in a few minutes. Well, here it's going to be faster, right? But yeah, this wheel is going to be ready, and then we'll see how it looks all finished, okay? Okay, because this step is exactly the same as what I just showed you. Yeah. Okay, so the tire is already installed. I also put on the covers, the caps that go in the middle part, and I went ahead and put on the reflectors. We have to make sure that the orange ones go on the front sides. There's a white one that goes on the grill, or well, the bumper, whatever you want to call it, and all the red ones go on the back. It has its holes here, so you can put it on. Now, what are we going to do? Now we're going to lower it. Ah, this is easy. Remember, if you don't have those tools, you should try to find some similar ones, as long as they're safe to use, because we don't want any accidents to happen. And this thing is a really heavy toy. It's a toy for big kids. Yeah, I think so. I'm just going to carefully lift it up a little bit so that I can easily take out the main tower, the primary support that's positioned on the other side, and then, subsequently, we can put in the gas. Okay. All set. Now I'm going to adjust the tripod a bit. I'm going to raise it more, and raise it even more. So I'm going to switch it like this, and now let's open the hood. Let's pop it open. I'll leave it here. Let's open it again. And this is the gas tank. Now we'll see how to turn it on. I think that should be enough. I'm going to put the cap back on. I'm going to clean it with my hands. I don't care. So, okay, now our gas tank it's done. It has fuel. So, I think now we'll close this. We were going to look for the keys. The keys always come with the steering wheel. They always come with the wheel, this one here. And we're going to take it off. Since this is new, I'm not going to remove these tags, but you can take them off. It doesn't matter. So, we put it in. We put our key in and turn on the switch. Here. We need to make sure to set the choke. There it is. We press the brake and turn it like a regular car. It might genuinely take a few tries because, well, the carburetor absolutely needs to be sufficiently gassy right now, but you just have to patiently try it a couple of times. Brake time equals 0.5s / maybe it's also a really good idea to get on and gently pump the gas pedal a little so it's much easier to start. It might indeed take a few attempts, but it should eventually start. Nice. Well, that's essentially it. Forward is the WH reverse. Neutral is precisely in the middle. Brake time equals 0.5s /. First gear is back, then second and third. It's in third. Done. Ready? That's everything for the Mini Jeep. This is really nice. Really, really nice. All set. And, well, that's it for the Mini Jeep. Hope this helps you. No need to use the manuals anymore. I'm just kidding. No, you should still use them, but hopefully with this you'll need them less. Bye.